Hello, my Weather Show friends. Thank you for tuning on into the Weather Show this day, night, or whatever time you're watching the video. I surely appreciate your support and hope to gain more viewers here in the days to come. All right, let's talk this. I mean, that is just a sight. For this time of the year, the last weekend of April, and that much snow up in the foothills around the Bogus Basin area is just astounding. And so something I've wanted to do for such a long time was to take all the data, look at it, first of all, to see where we're at currently and the percentage above normal, and then look back in history, at least the last couple of years, to see how the month of April stacks up as far as percentage of normal and snowpack. And some of the numbers I found were astounding. So we're going to share that with you coming up on this report, and also give you the current snow totals in inches of the pack that's up there right now. It in itself is remarkable. All right, so don't go away. I will bring you those numbers here right after this.
This weather is brought to you by Clothesline Cleaners. You know what season it is. Yeah, it's spring. Yeah, there are flowers to be planted in the cold air. It's prom season, and there's still a time to get your prom dress in. Beautiful alterations, cleaning before and after for the prom event. Clothesline Cleaners will handle everything. They do wedding gowns and, of course, a whole line of shirts, dresses, suits, men's suits, there's a whole list. Don't even forget the sheets, too. Press sheets. But look at this gorgeous prom gown cleaned by Clothesline Cleaners. Clothesline Cleaners sponsoring the Weather Show with Vin Crosby.
All right, this is something I wanted to do for a very long time. Let's check out that current snowpack. Just staggering numbers for this time of the year. Here it is. I mean, this is the snow water equivalent for the end of April. On April 30th, this is where we stand. Look at all the blue. The blue is just a tremendous amount of snow. Up here, we're looking at coverage. This darker shade of blue right in through here, greater than 150% of normal. All right, and then we get into the lighter shade of blue here. Right in through here, this is like 110% of normal or higher. Just a tremendous amount of snow that is in the state right now. And the snow water equivalent, this is where we check the density of the snow to see how much water content is in it when it melts. It is just skying. So a tremendous snowpack, as we all know, but I don't think it's sinking in to a lot of folks. There is just an ungodly amount of snow up there. Tremendous right now. All right, so notice the numbers here. Let's take a little run and see if we can go through a few highlighted areas. I mean, check it out. I mean, in the Boise watershed, 164% of normal. Back up in the Payette area, in the Weiser area, 151, 179. The Salmon area here, 153% of normal. Even down in the Hawaii County, 120% of normal. The Bruno area, 142 to 147% of normal. Back over in towards the southeast areas of the state, you can see these numbers here, 217% of normal out there in the Bear River area. Clearwater doing just fine, 117% of the normal up here in northern Idaho. Spokane, 111% of normal. And the northern Panhandle, 114% of normal. So just a tremendous amount of snow, and the snow water equivalent looking fantastic as well. All right, next map here shows the whole west, the western United States. Look at this, everything in blue for the most part. The green means it's 90 to right here, this green area right in through here. That means it's 90 to 109% of normal. And we have greens and the yellows. Typically yellow means much lower amounts, not this time of year. For April 30th, going into the early stages of May, 70 to 89%. And check out around the Lake Tahoe region. I mean, this is just insane in here. As a matter of fact, I'm going in for a closer look on this because this is just ridiculous. I mean, look at that. 357% of normal. Forget about the drought. There isn't a drought in the west with some of these snow totals up through here. And then you can see all the wonderful snowpack and snow water equivalent in Idaho, but Washington and Oregon through the Cascades. Buku amounts over in Wyoming, just a tremendous amount of snow. Montana doing great. Even many sections of Utah around Salt Lake City, 150 to 160% of normal. Just a tremendous amount of snowpack that's across much of the region. Now let's break it down a little bit more detail here. This is the snowpack. It's a percentage of normal of the snowpack itself. So we're not looking at snow water equivalent. This is the snowpack itself of how far and high it is above the normal where it should be this time of the year. And so right now, look at the purple. This is the number we're looking at right over here. 180%, greater than 180% of average of where we should be this time of the year. And look how much purple is in here along the Cascades. Of course, the Sierra Nevada down here in California, all purple. And then I'm going to change my color here because I want a darker shade of blue here. Maybe it'll stick out a little more. But in Idaho, look at all this. Some purples up and through here, 180% of normal. Then we get down to the blues, darker blues, a little, looks like a little powder blue to almost a darker blue right there, 130 to 149% of normal. We see a lot of that in here through Idaho. We see a ton of that back out here in the Wasatch Mountain region, all the way back up in towards the Rockies around the Tetons. And then back up into northern Idaho, we see some purples and some blues in there as well. And so that is an indication of 130% and higher of percent of normal above. So tremendous. Even where it's in the yellow and the orange, you're still looking at 50 to 69% above average. And it's not until you get down into some of these darker shades of red, which are few and far between, a lot of it out in the plains, is where it's less than 25% of average. But look at the purples, look at the blues. They're all over the place. And why is this important? Look at last year's snowpack. Last year we had a pretty good snowpack in April 2016. A lot of greens, 90 to 109%. So we did have a good water year last year. But look, it's a lot of greens, some reds and oranges. We don't see any blues or purples. I mean, there's a few purples dotted in there, but that's it. So this gives perspective of just how enormous the snowpack is this year. This is not your normal water year, folks. And when this stuff starts melting, this is why we've been talking about it, that's where the danger is going to come. Those reservoirs filling up. And the water is going to have to be released even higher if we get some wet systems moving on through the region. Now, check this out. This is 2 years ago. You want to see a big contrast in snow? This is 2015, April. There wasn't any snow across much of the West. Everything was red, so less than 25% above normal. So that's just, again, we're up here right now. We're up in this region currently. This is where it was 2 years ago around this time. So just fascinating of how much snow is out there. And then I threw this in here because I wanted to just show the actual current depth of the snow. So this is the actual snow on the ground. And one of the highlights here is, look at this, up the top of the scale, right over here, the right-hand side of your screen, 150 inches and greater. I mean, there are areas in Idaho right now that's still going into the first day of May, last day of April, where we have over 150 inches of snow up in the high country. Absolutely outstanding. There is even some here going down into the Boise watershed, 150 inches. This is Anderson Ranch here. Here's your Lucky Peak and Moores Creek, Arrow Rock right in through there, that system. And then the Boise River, of course, runs right in through here. So we are looking at some just insane amounts of snow, which are up in this region. So let me change the color here because this purple area right in through here, see all that darker shade of purple? That's all through here. And even up around Cascade, we're getting into some darker shades of purple. That's 100 to 150 inches of snow. That's just ridiculous of how much snow is in the area. I mean, that's over 8 feet of snow still on the ground up in the high country. 75 to 100 you get down here. Let's just go down into like the light purplish blue here. I mean, we still see that up around Bogus where there's 40 to 50 inches of snow on the ground, even some back outside of Anderson Ranch. Anderson Ranch over here. That's Lucky Peak, Moores Creek there. Look at the watershed up here, north, up around McCall. I mean, this is just insane. Loman, look at the water content that's going to be in there. I mean, that's 100 to 50 inches of snow up there right now. And even back up north of Cambridge, we still have some good little pinks and purples, 50 to 75 inches of snow that's going to come into the Weezer River Basin. So tremendous amounts of snow still out there. It's going to be there for quite some time in Idaho. 150 inches. That's just outstanding. Hey, thanks for watching the Weather Show with meteorologist Vin Crosby. Again, tell your friends and family to subscribe to the Weather Show. I bet you we can get 5-6 more subscribers. Some of you are out there. You can help this starving meteorologist. And also, if you know any businesses that want to sponsor the Weather Show, organizations, we can come out there. I'd love to come to your business and have some fun. You're watching the Weather Show with meteorologist Vin Crosby.